boy who lives near the border of Syria and Israel told his parents he was murdered in a past life. He took them to a spot and pointed that he was buried there. In playing along with their son, they dug up the area to show him there was nothing there. But, to their complete shock, they unearthed a human corpse. The boy then told them he was killed with an axe and led them to where it was buried. And it was. He told them the red birthmark on his forehead is where he was struck with the axe. He then confronted his alleged murderer, whose face turned white, before he gave in and confessed to killing a man.
Oh my God, there was just so much information in that 30-second clip that I can't even process. So I have read that your birthmarks, nice. So I have read that your birthmarks are a sign of how you died in your past life. So like, let's say you have, I don't know, a slash on your neck, then maybe it was sliced open in your past life and you bled out. I don't know. But in this case, he had a birthmark of a red mark on his forehead, and he said that he was killed with an axe? That's crazy. Also, the fact that he's like, oh yeah, I was killed in my past life. Here's my body, it's right here. I was buried right here. And then found the murder weapon and then was like, hey, this is the guy that killed me? He literally came back from his past life and was just like, I'm coming back for you, killer. Yeah, that's right. That is insane.
Boy Who Knew Too Much, an astounding true story of a young boy's past life memories. Kathy Bird writes that when Christian was just 3 years old, he told her out of the blue that he was once a tall baseball player who had a feud with Babe Ruth.
He saw a big picture of Babe Ruth on the wall and got visibly upset by this picture and said, Mommy, he was mean to me.
Then she says she showed him a photo of the 1927 New York Yankees, considered the greatest team ever.
And I said, do you see anyone in this photo that doesn't like Babe Ruth? And he immediately pointed to a guy with dimples, and then he said, that's me.
And he was pointing to Lou Gehrig.
To Lou Gehrig.
Whoa! Imagine being a famous baseball player in your past life. If this kid is like another baseball star, that's sick. Oh man, why don't I remember my past life? What was I doing? Come on, seriously, that is so cool. Man, does anyone know how I can tap into that? Because I really just want to know what I was in my past life.
At a very young age, James Lenninger started narrating his love for fighter planes. Now, this sounds normal at first, since many young boys like playing with planes. However, this was different. James could go into extreme specifics of how a fighter plane worked, in fact, into so much detail that it left his parents startled by his wealth of information. Eventually, James started having nightmares in which he would picture himself dying and being shot down by a Japanese plane with a red sun on it.
Again, another child just like the other one. Oh, that's crazy. Like you're just having flashbacks to your past life? That's insane. I still don't know what you would do as a parent. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. Like, these kids are outstanding. I have high hopes when my kids are born now. Just kidding. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Central Dark. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today we're looking at scary people that might be reincarnated. I got it right. Nice. Alright guys, let's get right into the video because my mind is blown already, okay? Reincarnation might be real. Let me know in the comments below if you believe in reincarnation. If so, do you remember your past life? Let me know.
Cameron McCauley was born in Glasgow and spent his younger years insisting to his mother that he was from the island of Barra. He told his mom his father from his previous life, Shane Robertson, had been killed in a car accident. He talked of a white house and a black and white dog. His mother finally took him on a plane trip to Barra. There, they discovered a white house, which belonged to a family named Robertson, and a black and white dog had lived there many years ago.
This case was crazy. I totally remember reading about this. This kid was like, no mom, I'm from this place, and was talking about his other family, and then would get so upset that his mom didn't believe him. So they're like, okay, fine, we're going, because he just knew so much about this place that his mom's like, he hasn't even been there, like he's too young to research about this place. So they took him there, and he took them literally to the house that he used to live in. It's insane. My mind is blown.
These are samples of the recurring drawings that James did every day for a year and a half or 2 years. It was just like the nightmares. It just goes on and on.
I was always looking for a logical explanation for James's nightmares and his knowledge of aviation. And many people have asked us, do we have an aviation or military background? And we don't. And that's what made James's recollections so much more uncanny, that he had this basic knowledge of military and aviation where there was no way he could be getting this information.
Can't lie, I've heard about this case too, because reincarnation like fascinates me. And this kid believed that he was, I want to say a pilot during the World War or something. All I remember is that he said that he died from his plane getting shot down. And that's why he kept drawing those planes over and over again, because that's like what he was reliving. He remembered flying, and that's why he knew so much about aviation. Family's like, are you a genius? Like, how do you know so much about aviation? He's like, well, I was a pilot in my past life. He doesn't have an accent, but I just thought.
Shanti did not speak much in her first years, unlike many young children. When she reached 4 years, however, she started speaking about her memories of another life that she lived. She said that her home was not in Delhi, but instead 93 miles away in Mathura, where she lived with her husband, and she insisted that she had to go back to her son and husband. Her parents discouraged her from speaking of her previous life, telling her to put it behind her and be concerned about the present, which annoyed her and made her run away from home to Mathura. She was found and taken back to her parents. She started speaking of her previous life during school in detail and was even able to recall the names of her husband, children, and what happened when she lost her life.
Imagine your wife dying and then being reincarnated, and it's just like this little kid, and you're like, I love you. It's like, whoa, that's a little illegal here. You can't be doing that. Seriously, what do you do? It's like, yeah, that's my wife, but, you know, you're like 2, and I'm, like 60. Wow, that's insane. But the fact that she knew, she like remembered her husband's name, her kids' names, where they lived, and went and wanted to go back to them. Man, that's eternal love. That's relationship goals.
Dorothy was born into a wealthy family from England back in 1904. She led a normal life until that fateful day when she fell off the stairs, injuring her head drastically.
Oh no.
Everyone, including doctors and her parents, thought she had lost her life. However, she later miraculously woke and her life was different. The actions of the 3-year-old were not those of an ordinary child, and her parents had noticed it. On many occasions, Dorothy demanded her parents to take her back home to Egypt. She was certain she recalled her previous life, that she was born across the sea in Pharaohland, Egypt. She also recounted astonishing details from her time as a priestess in Egypt.
Okay, so maybe I just need to bang my head and then I'll remember my past life. Okay, let's do it. No, I'm just kidding. That's crazy. Also, I got a little confused because they're like, when she was 3 years old, and I'm looking at this old lady, I'm like, she's not 3 years old. But then I realized that, this is her when she's older. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty freaky.
At the age of 2, Hunter was watching TV with his father when a clip appeared of 13-time major golf champion Bobby Jones. Hunter turned to his dad and told him that he had been Bobby Jones when he was big, and he had demanded to be called Bobby from that moment on. His father decided to test him, so he printed off several pictures of houses, one of which was Bobby's childhood home. Hunter called all the pictures a house, except Bobby's, which he called home. At the age of 3, Hunter started taking golf lessons, and he has been likened to Bobby Jones in his style of play. He also declared from a young age that his favorite golf course was Augusta.
Wow, another child prodigy. He's gonna grow up and be another really good golfer. Oh man, how do you just look at something and you're like, oh yeah, that was me. Should I just start watching old movies and stuff and maybe I'm an old famous actress? Who knows? Who knows? That's insane. The kid was just watching TV and he's like, oh yeah, that's me. I would have tested him more though. I would have been like, and what was your childhood's dog's name and something, see if he's just full of it or if he actually is Bobby. But then also it's kind of weird at the same time because you're raising an old man, he already lived a life, so he's old, but he's now trapped inside a young person's body.
Our first story is about a boy named Ryan from Oklahoma. He began talking about his past life in Hollywood at the age of 4. A book about Hollywood triggered further memories. He saw a picture from a 1932 movie called Night After Night. He said he was friends with the man in the movie, who was an actor and spokesman for cigarette commercials. Ryan also identified his past self in the photo, a man named Marty Martin. He remembered correctly a scene that he had acted in, and details of Martin's life, such as his days of tap dancing on Broadway, his 3 younger sisters, and the color of his car.
Again, another kid that was just like flipping through and he was like, oh yeah, I know this guy. Like I was friends with him. And the parents were probably like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, that's me, Marty Martin. Love that name, by the way, like Marty Martin. Can you imagine if my name was like Linz? No, Lindsay, Marty Martin. That's, these kids, like, ugh. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Again, let me know in the comments below if, you have a weird birthmark that shows your past life, or if you just are cool and remember your past life. And now, here are some bloopers. Okay. Okay, now I gotta do my little introduction. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to, do I say Central Dark or like Captain Central Dark? Hey everyone, what's up? Nope. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I will be reviewing, what is this? Scary people, and we're gonna be looking at also, this is so random. But if anyone has seen the movie We're the Millers, the lady that's like, oh, Oklahoma. Sorry, every time someone says Oklahoma, my mind just goes to that woman going, oh, Oklahoma. It would sound better. Also, I literally just got bit by something because this is itchy. Can you imagine if you reviewed the footage and all of a sudden you just see a bug come and bite me right here? Ah! If that happens, I'm grossed out because I literally just have an itchy bump right here, so I think something just bit me. And I filmed in the basement, so there's probably spiders down here. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm totally getting sidetracked.